What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and today I'm doing a video on the Ripple SEC lawsuit. Specifically, why was it done, what was its overall goal, and what it's going to achieve for the future of cryptocurrencies in the United States. Blockchain technology is one of the most disruptive innovations that our financial markets will ever see, and this video is going to go over why I think the Ripple SEC case is front and center in bringing regulatory clarity to this emerging market. Guys, if you enjoy this video, make sure you like it down below, subscribe to the channel, and comment what you think. Guys, I found some really interesting stuff here. I'm going to break it down for you real simple. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think I have some pretty crazy stuff to bring to you guys. So make sure you stick around for this video. You're definitely going to want to see it. But let's jump right into it. So guys, to start this video, I really want to jump into this tweet thread I put out this morning. I think it really shows in a very clear and easy to understand way why this lawsuit's going on, what was its purpose, and what is it going to bring to the market going forward. Make sure if you guys want to read this again, if you want to check it out, if you want to make any comments, you go to my Twitter and check this out. I'd also appreciate any retweets on this to get the word out so I can get even more opinions of what people think about this. So let's jump right into it. I'll read it to you guys, and then we'll go over it at the end. The SEC lawsuit versus Ripple's sole purpose was to give clarity to the market. Why? The SEC can't choose if an asset is a security or not. They can only enforce securities law already created. With this being said, courts can make something a security, and so can Congress. Unfortunately, Congress is too busy doing nothing to focus on digital assets, so the only way to create law is through the courts. Why can't the SEC just give more Hinman speeches then? He only gave market guidance, not clarity. ETH technically could still be declared a security. The SEC does not have the power to declare things securities or not. This needs to be written in laws through the courts. So even though Hinman stated that the SEC does not view ETH as a security, the SEC are essentially just cops. Cops don't create the laws, cops enforce the laws. So they're just saying they're not going to enforce anything with ETH. But if ETH was declared a security by a law-making body, then it would be a security. The SEC does not make the laws. Laws need to be created for the SEC to enforce. So let's keep going here. The SEC does not have the power to declare things security or not. This means that it needs to be written in law through the courts. Why sue XRP then and not ETH? Two main reasons. One, ETH already had been given guidance by the SEC, so the SEC would have looked like fools for giving a green light that they weren't going to go after ETH and then turning back. Also, it would create a massive ERC20 problem where essentially you would have the crypto exchanges loaded up with its ERC20 tokens and then having to delist 40 to 50 tokens, and this would have just created mass chaos, which they definitely most likely didn't want to do. It was much easier just to target one coin like XRP, and then you wouldn't have all this ERC20 issues going on. Number two, this case was meant for the SEC to lose. The SEC didn't have any evidence. They are suing the founders with no cases of fraud, which has allowed Ripple to obtain massive amounts of more discovery from the SEC. It was rushed. The SEC has almost no evidence for any of their claims, and they are currently fighting against multiple past top officials who worked for the SEC, who knows the very documents at the place they used to work that will sink the case. The SEC lawyers could fight this case as hard as they wanted, but the fundamental argument was wrong from the start. This means that even though the SEC lawyers are fighting this case hard, the fundamental argument the SEC case is making, the SEC made in the beginning, is an unwinnable argument, so it doesn't matter from the start. XRP is not a security of Ripple. It's a security of the XRPL. XRP does not depend on the health of Ripple. It depends on the health of the XRPL. Ripple is just a company that uses XRP. It does not secure the value of XRP. XRP's value is secured by the XRP ledger, so therefore from the start the entire argument the SEC making is completely wrong and doesn't make any sense. That's why the case is unwinnable. Jay Clayton set up a lawsuit he knew he was going to lose and then left. This lawsuit was never meant to be won. It was meant to create clarity in the market. Security or no security, one thing is for clear. This is the Ripple test, and the outcome will define all of crypto. So, I know that was a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It took me a while, essentially, to put that all together. But let's start from the very top and really analyze something that's critical. And I highlighted this in my video the other day, and what really made me think about all this from the start. And that came from this recent filing from the court where I read over an SEC response to a question essentially going in talks about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And essentially what it was saying was Ripple was bringing up, we want you to state whether Bitcoin and Ether are securities. And the SEC's response was essentially that they generally do not make decisions as to the specific financial instrument status. Right here, the SEC is admitting we can't tell you if Bitcoin and Ether are securities because we don't make these decisions. And this really made me really start thinking about what's going on here, because that means that Ether and Bitcoin could very well still be securities. All we know right now is the SEC said they would not enforce them as securities. But that means if later down the road, Bitcoin and Ethereum were declared as securities by a lawmaking body like Congress or the courts, then the SEC would be forced to regulate them like securities. The SEC does not have the power to create laws, they can only enforce them. So what does this mean? Well, this means that the SEC essentially has zero power over cryptocurrencies as they stand today. So the only way for them to be given power or have power taken away from them is through a legislative body like Congress or through lawmaking procedures like through the court. So, how is clarity going to be given through the court? Well, really it could have happened in two ways. One, XRP could be declared a security, likely making every other cryptocurrency security, or it could be declared not a security and therefore a different financial instrument, and most likely that would be a commodity security or its own form. This process had to start somewhere. It couldn't have started nowhere because Congress wasn't going to do it. So either way, this is a step in a direction in saying this is either not this or it is this. Now, I do not believe it will be called a security. Either way, clarity will come, and I think no matter what, it will not hurt the intended uses of what these things are, but I think they're going to want to get the designation right, and I think right here they admitted that the designation is not a security. If they wanted it to be a security, they made a horrible argument for it being one. Saying that XRP is a security of Ripple does not make any sense because Ripple could be removed from the equation and XRP would still survive. If they wanted this to be an argument that XRP was a security, they would have said that XRP is a security of the XRP ledger. This would have made XRP a security. Now, what does this mean? This means that the SEC brought an argument that never made any sense from the start. This means that no matter how hard their lawyers fight this case, they will lose because the argument they brought never made any sense. This will, through law, declare that XRP is not a security and bring clarity to the market so that the next steps can be brought forward to help bring a regulatory body to monitor cryptocurrency assets. One of the other main reasons why I think this case was meant to be lost is because when Jay Clayton brought the lawsuit, he literally left the next day. He wanted nothing to do with this lawsuit. If this was and also Gary Gensler was meeting with Jay Clayton beforehand. So think about it this way. If these two people thought they could win the case, they would want to have been the ones to bring the case. If I had some insane case I was going to win, you'd want to do it under your tenure so you could claim victory for the case. So first, Jay Clayton could have brought this case in his entire time at the SEC. He never did. He waited till the last day, dropped the case, and left, which means that he did not want responsibility for the case. Next, instead of that happening, Gary Gensler could have said, all right, I'll come into office and I'll take the case. No, he told Jay Clayton to drop the case before he left because Gary Gensler wanted nothing to do with the case. Now, why do both of these people who are highly connected and know exactly what's going on both want nothing to do with the case? Well, it's pretty obvious. They know the case isn't going to win. They know it's a losing case because it doesn't make any sense from the start. This case is literally because laws aren't being passed and something needs to go through the court to get the ball rolling. Whether or not XRP is declared a security or not a security through this lawsuit, it doesn't matter because rules are being created. It seems to me like the entire plan was to have XRP deemed not a security and have other regulatory bodies take up the regulation. And I actually found an old video of Gary Gensler that I think you guys have to see because I think it really speaks to the fact that it doesn't matter if it's a security, a commodity, or currency. These markets need regulation, and what we need to do is figure out where this regulation is going to come from, and it's not going to come from just sitting around doing nothing and the SEC giving their opinions on what certain things might be. It needs to be defined in law, and regulatory bodies need to start taking control of what's going on.
Example. Or maybe there's an entirely different new regulatory body.
I'll even be regulator neutral as well as technology neutral. I think the pure cash cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin need more protection, and probably more protection than, frankly, even the oil markets or corn and wheat. Whether that's the CFTC or the SEC, I'll be neutral. I think the CFTC has good skills.
Right there. He said it doesn't matter if it's the SEC or the CFTC. This technology is going to be massive. It's going to change our financial system fundamentally, but it needs to be given status through law. What that status is, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a while to figure out, but what is happening in this lawsuit is getting the ball rolling. It's the start of bringing clarity to these markets. It looks like to me that they brought this lawsuit to say, you know what, the SEC is not going to have this control. It's going to be declared something else because I don't see how the SEC could possibly win a case that they brought in such a terrible fashion. If this case was really being worked on for the past 2 years, I would hope they could have come up with something better than this. In my opinion, they tried as hard as possible to make it look like a real case, but a case they could never win. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. Make sure you go check out this tweet thread for yourself. I took a long time putting it together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and for now, Mickle out.